Hi. What are you eating?
What are you doing in my...
That's not important. What is that?
Bacon?
Is that red meat? Ew! Do you know how bad that is for the planet?
I actually have a really good argument for why that's not the case, that red meat is actually really good for the planet.
You know how bad that is for you?
I think it's actually the exact opposit.
Oh my god.
Red meat is actually the best thing for you to consume.
I don't eat anything that poops.
Will you just calm down? Here, just sit down. Sit down. We'll have a conversation. Just a open dialogue. I'll hear your side, and you can hear mine.
Okay. Present your argument.
A lot of the studies that initially came out associating red meat to things like cancer and heart disease were incredibly flawed.
What?
Nearly all the research is what is known as epidemiological or observational studies, which basically means they ask people what they ate and correlate that with outcomes in a survey.
Oh my god, I love filling out those surveys and reporting back insane health benefits from the vegan diet.
Okay, well, the problem is most observational studies have what we call confounding variables. As an example, let's say you're a meat eater, but the meat you eat is like from McDonald's and you like barely work out and you drink alcohol and smoke. But on a survey, all you do is check the box that you're a meat eater and then they look at your health outcomes. There's so many things at play making you unhealthy, yet the only thing they're looking at is whether you eat meat or not. So what we actually see is when we look at the confounding variables, red meat and cancer and heart disease and all these things that it's usually shunned for don't exist in the data.
You're saying they're flawed because they don't account for the other variable incomes, outcomes to contribute to negative health consequences. I'm sorry, I've got brain fog.
Exactly, and scientists at the University of Washington Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation scrutinized decades of research and red meat consumption and its links to various outcomes, and their findings dispel almost any concerns about eating red meat. There's also this study, which looked at data from 48 studies and 5.7 million participants. And it concluded that the recommendations to limit red meat intake based off of cancer concerns were bogus.
Okay, I've seen enough.
And when you look at the nutritional profile of red meat, it's insane. Red meat is one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, and it contains zinc, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2, choline, selenium, magnesium, calcium, iron, B12.
I take a B12 supplement. It's got cyanide.
B6, thiamine, potassium, riboflavin, niacin, and a ton others in a bioavailable form, not to mention the best source of protein and fat humans could consume.
Does my kale salad have everything else in that too?
Not exactly. There are certain nutrients that are only found in red meat that you can't get anywhere else, but on top of that, all of the nutrients inside of red meat are bioavailable. There are nutrients in plants, yes, but how much of those nutrients do you actually absorb?
So you're saying the pea protein shakes I have every single morning aren't working? I'm not even absorbing them?
Not exactly, no, and I bet your digestion's not the best on those too.
Digestion. It's a sensitive topic. What about you?
My digestion, eating mostly red meat, has never been better.
But I thought vegetables were like the best thing for you.
I'm not anti-vegetables, but I do think we've been led to believe they are way healthier than they actually are. You see, every living thing has some sort of built-in defensive mechanism. You clearly do.
Huh?
Because plants can't run or fight off predators, the defensive mechanisms that they have are actually built into the plant itself, known as plant toxins. These are chemicals inside of the plants that prevent things from consuming them by making them quote unquote toxic.
So why is everyone telling me that meat is bad and I have to eat plants?
I think there's a goal to make people weaker, docile, and more controllable. But I also think there's a lot of like good intentioned vegans. Like you and me, we want the same thing. We want to be healthy, we want to be better for the planet, we want to be ethically moral. But at the same time, I think the solution on how we get there is much different.
Okay, what about the environment and how unethical meat is?
Regenerative agriculture.
What?
It's like one of the best things you can do to regenerate soil, and it requires living animals. And on top of that, in regenerative agriculture, the animals that survive and live on that structure have a better life than they would in the wild with only one bad day. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that nothing died for you to get even the salad or tofu that you consume?
Yeah, I'm only eating a salad? Duh.
It's estimated that 7.3 billion living things die per year and the process of harvesting plant agriculture and crops.
Oh my God.
You see, in order for there to be life, there must be death. And when you try to get around this death piece, you end up killing something else in a different way.
Lab-grown meat it is.
They use fetal bovine serum for that. Do you know what that is?
What?
That is blood from baby cow fetuses. Look it up. It's called FBS. And from an ancestral lens, while it's not like the best argument, our ancestors ate meat to thrive. They only ate plants to survive when they didn't have access to animals.
I'm not convinced. But if I were, what do I do? Just go to a grocery store or something and buy what they have there?
You should go to a farmer's market, pick up regenerative agriculture, and maybe if you're there, you can pick up some raw milk.
Did you just say raw milk? We're the only animal that drinks the milk from other animals. Even though it's nutritious, it's gross.
Dude, I'm not even gonna argue with you on that. I made a video about it if you wanna check that out. I have a good argument in there.
I'm not convinced.
I'm open-minded that you're right. You should also be open-minded that I'm right.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. You make some great arguments, but I'm not convinced. But you know what I can do? Is I can make sure that every other house in this neighborhood is not eating meat.
Thanks for stopping by.
So I'm gonna go. I've got things to do and plans to eat without them fighting back.
All right, so that video was very different than the ones I normally make on my channel. And yeah, I just kind of want to have fun with kind of telling this story in a unique comedic way that I haven't really seen before. There's a bunch of people who have made, you know, debunking veganism videos, just talking head like this. So I kind of wanted to play with a unique concept that hopefully you found fun. And the goal was not to offend vegans. I actually have mad respect for vegans, or really anyone who's trying to do something better for their health or for the planet or for ethical reasons. So mad respect to anyone who is taking the time to change their lifestyle to better themselves and other people around them. But I do want to mention, I do have a lot of friends who are ex-vegans, people who were vegan for 5, 10, 15 plus years. And unfortunately, they have some kind of serious health conditions because of how long they were vegan for. And while you could do whatever you want, you can eat however you want, if you're super passionate and you want to be a vegan, sounds good, go do it. Just know that we have evidence that maybe this isn't the best thing for our health. And maybe the thing that we've shunned, red meat, animal fats, stuff like that, might actually be really crucial for our health in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle and eat a healthy diet. Now I'm going to make a video diving more into this and my personal story that I'm gonna release in like a couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. And also, big shout out to Mick, the actor, the vegan actor. Gosh, it was so funny editing the outtakes of this guy, because his acting is wild.
Tuberculosis! Tuberculosis!
And if you are listening to this, that means you watched the video all the way to the end, which means the most to me. I put a lot of effort into making these videos, and really that's the only thing that I want is for people to watch them. Thanks for watching.